Welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
I'm Kurt.
Yeah. So, okay, we've been trying to come up with an idea for this segment that we're doing. And it was just right there in my face. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, what could we call this? What could we call this? And then, of course, Kurt and I, we had mentioned before, we had been wanting to do a podcast a long time ago. And it was just like, oh, duh. Why don't we just call it ADHD Theater? Because that's what this is.
We kept forgetting.
Yeah, this is an episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds, ADHD Theater style. We're going to review Devil's Angels, the biker movie from 1967, I think, something like that.
Yes.
And
was this your first step into biker movies? Have you ever seen one of the old biker movies before?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen one before.
Well, now you got the gist of how most of them are.
And okay. Yeah, I mean, it was funny because like they were like, oh, I was getting mad at one point because it's like, as the movie progresses, people are like just completely like misassuming, like just completely false information against the biker gang. Like they're just wanting to chill and do their own thing. But it's like, I don't know, man.
We gotta kill these guys. Pretty much.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, yep, we gotta kill them because they raped this girl, but they didn't.
Yeah, pretty much the movie starts, it's a typical, if you have never seen one, this will show you how they pretty much all are. There's a lot of just riding around to weird music and just running around. If you added up all those sections, it's like, I think in the movie, like the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes was just them riding around, them raising hell, what you think a biker gang would be. But there is a story in there. I mean, it could have been told in 5 minutes, but there is a story in the movie. There's a biker gang. They're hanging around in this town, and the leader, played by John Cassavetes, he's one of these guys that just think, man, there's got to be something better out there, man. There's got to be. And then his one buddy tells him about this place, man. There's this place out there. Go out there and do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
A little hole in the wall. Do whatever you want. He's like, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So they decide in this movie, man, they're getting out of town. They're gonna start new, fresh. And he finally gets the gang going.
Yeah.
And they stop along the way at a town, and they just want to relax and maybe get something to eat, chill, and they happen across the county fair in a little tiny town that has never seen anything like a biker. And like you were saying, it becomes just, the town is terrified.
Yeah.
So the sheriff shows up, he's going to run them out of town. And you're expecting this big confrontation. And then the sheriff goes, all right, you guys can camp out on the beach. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah. A minute ago, these guys all had to be run out of town, but now he's going to let them camp on the beach. And then when they're camping on the beach, that's when it goes to a scene where all the town folk are sitting there talking amongst themselves on how do we get rid of these scum?
Right.
And they're not doing anything but just riding around, goofing off on the beach. But there's hundreds of these movies that all have the theme, trying to get somewhere, man, got to blow this town, man. The man's holding me down. And you get what you expect with this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. This being my first foray into the biker movies, I was not expecting that. I was like, is there a point to this at any point? It's like,
and
around or think hard.
the way that they portrayed biker gangs, everybody's got a Nazi symbol on their back or on their arm or on their bike.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, man. But, there'll be more, I promise, and they will be better than this one because there are some classic biker movies that we just are going to have to delve into. But, yeah. I had to, I thought about the first one that I was going to bring in here, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'll just bring in like Easy Rider or something that, is a classic. And it's like, no, man, that's not the point of this. It's movies so bad that you got to watch them because they're good, which, sometimes they're just really bad.
Yeah, so I talked to Bo before this, and he was like, yeah, I couldn't do it. Couldn't make it through. I think he said like 10 or 15 minutes into it, and he's just like, oh, this has no point. I don't understand.
Well, yeah, that first 10, 15 minutes, there was no storyline. It was just,
they were just
driving around and partying. Right. If you just would have hung on for 16 minutes, man.
I forget the exact time he said he was going through, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he wasn't a fan. But
the movie does the moral, or the what the movie is trying to get across is, if you're afraid to go out in the world and try something new, good. Stay where you are. Because the way the movie ends, they're partying on the beach. And one of the town girls who's, not experienced in life, grew up in a small little town, goes to hang out with all these bikers.
Right.
They start getting her drunk, wanting her to dance, wanting her to party.
Yeah.
And then they start putting the moves on her. She freaks out, runs away, tells people that she got raped, and there's going to be this big showdown. But she never said it, right. They just assumed it. Yeah. And then when they finally asked her, she was like, no, it didn't happen. But,
at that point, it's like, okay, just drop it. Like,
yeah. And then his friend, he says, the main star, John Cassavetes, is like, you know what? Let's just get out of here and let's just go to where we're going. And then his buddy tells him, that place doesn't exist, man.
Right.
He goes, what do you mean it doesn't exist? He goes, I could have told you anywhere. You were never going to leave. So I made up this town so you'd go. But then all hell breaks loose. They're all fighting. Someone gets killed. And as this is all happening, the main guy just gets on his bike to drive back where he came from, all alone, leaving the whole gang behind. And that's when it's obvious. You should have just stayed where you were. And the movie ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Devil's Angels.
Well, and there was another gang that his sort of right-hand guy like sort of stepped into, and it's like they were the ones causing the main trouble that killed the dude and whatnot, and it's like it was at that point I was like so exasperated. I was like, oh, just come on. It's like this is clear, cut and dry. Just leave it be.
Right.
Yes. But
well, for this week, it's not going to be bad biker movies. I promise. Not to say that the movies aren't bad, but there's two actually that we're going to watch the trailers for. Okay. And then we can decide. And if anyone's on and they want to throw their 2 cents in, help us decide which one to watch this week. And then next week, maybe we'll watch the one we don't pick this week, unless I come across something else. So, Dustin, if you could do me a favor and cue up Laser Blast from 1978 about a kid that gets bullied until he finds something really interesting.
All right.
This could all be happening right now, somewhere on this planet. It's the story of a UFO that has landed and visitors from a galaxy light years away. an adventure unlike anything on this planet. A weapon that might belong to us in the future, but is here now. Laser Blast. It's the story of the boy who found it and the girl who tried to help him.
What about the lump on your chest?
And a world that tried to take it away.
They didn't know I noticed. I want the town sealed off. Just no news leaks. No news, period.
Laser Blast. It will blow your mind.
Hang on, can't hear you. There you go.
I don't know what happened there. You know, it's amazing. When you're in a car with someone and they're driving, you want to make sure you always kill them. Yeah. But yeah, so that movie caught my eye for obvious reasons. So that's the first candidate, Laser Blast. And now you didn't really see any big stars in there. Really nobody that I've heard of is in that movie. But this next movie from 1982 came out, cost them, $8 million to make. They made about 17 and then eventually got to like 45 million. And I feel that this is a cult classic, but I'll let you be the judge. This one stars Mark Singer and Tanya Roberts, who was a big sex symbol in the 70s and 80s. It also stars, there's a lot of big stars in this movie. A show in the 70s called Good Times. If anybody ever saw Good Times, the man who played the father is in this movie as well. This movie I saw as a kid on HBO, and I fell in love with this movie. I absolutely love this movie, but a lot of my friends hate it. So I figured it's perfect for here. And so, Dustin, go ahead and let's roll the trailer for The Beastmaster.
It was foretold by witches. It was conceived through sorcery. And it was to be destroyed by all that is evil. But the courage of one mortal saved it. And so, into an age of darkness, in a time of mysticism, sacrifice, and plunder, there came the only light, the Beastmaster. Born with the strength of a black tiger, the courage of an eagle, the power that made him more than any hero. More than any lover. He was lord and master over all beasts. He was the Beastmaster. Behold the wonder, the horror, the fantasy, the challenge of the one warrior they called the Beastmaster. Mark Singer is Dar. Tanya Roberts is Carrie. Rip Torn is Mayak. John Amos is Seth. Together, they take us on a fascinating journey back into unexplored times. Conquer your fears. Face the unknown. And discover the incredible link between man, animal, and all that is phantasmagorical. In the world of Dungeons, Dragons, and Dar. The Beastmaster. The epic adventure of a new kind of hero.
That's a good one. That is a good movie. I can tell you right now. Forgot Rip Torn is in it. Remember him from, Men in Black and a million other things that he did. But it's a pretty long movie. And, both of these movies, Laser Blast and Beastmaster, are available on YouTube, Amazon, Freevee. But, I just watched the YouTube version. Laser Blast has some commercials, but Beastmaster is all the way through. It's almost 2 hours. And so what do you say, Dustin? Why don't you make the decision on which movie to go with for this week?
See, I've wanted to watch Beastmaster for a while, so I'll say that first. But it's one of those things. It's like, should I just say the one that I think is going to be bad first and get it over with and out of the way? But yeah, no, I say Beastmaster. Let's try to watch Beastmaster.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right, yeah, that'll work. So what's been going on with you other than having to watch a horrible biker movie?
I watched a couple of good movies. The Old Way, because that was the other part of the homework. That was the other caveat. It's like you can watch this movie, or you can maybe watch a Nick Cage movie for bonus points. And it's like, yeah, all right, I did.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't think when I saw the previews for that, I didn't think it would be a great movie. I was very surprised. I mean, it was. There's certain characters he plays well as Nick Cage when he's just being himself, and I think this is one of those movies. He's a good old cowboy. Yeah,
I think so too. Let's see. I think there's a couple other movies that they would be good at, like any kind of like RoboCop type aspect to it. That I think he would make a great cowboy.
I think if you're going to reboot any old movie, just automatically give it to Nick Cage. Doesn't matter what the movie is. Rebooting something, give it to Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Because I still think, guys like Nick Cage, Danny Trejo, they get a lot of grief. Or, people consider them, they're in everything. Well, when you love what you do, why not be in as much as you can? But I still think that they need to expand on the Expendables. We had this conversation a long time ago. Let's write a movie, or get someone to write a movie that is the B version of the Expendables, using all the B action stars. Eric Roberts. There's one. Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do Tom Sizemore anymore, but all the guys that have been in the horrible B movies often, put them in Expendables type of movie. I mean, why not? It would be great. Every action star is an overactor.
That would be funny.
It would be. So talk to your people. Make that happen.
I think, I don't know. I think the new Expendables movie is already trying to do that. Because they announced Expendables 4, right?
4?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like there's not too many more that they can do unless they start dipping into their toe into the B movie people.
Yeah, and when it comes to Stallone, the very last Rambo movie, which is insane, if you saw that, they just decided with Rambo, it's like, okay, we've gone far with some good storylines. Now let's just film 1 or 2 more Rambo movies where it's just the most insane, grotesque deaths you can come up with, But I don't know if he's going to be able to move his face or his lips in this new movie, The Expendables 4. I mean, every time you see Sylvester Stallone, more of his face is pulled back. There's a scene in the last Rambo movie where he's thinking, he's distraught. He's kind of down thinking, and there's a side shot, and it looks like he's smiling and grinning. And then as the camera comes around, you're like, oh no, he's just had a bunch of facelifts. Yeah.
I don't know. I liked him in Tulsa King. Have you watched any of that?
I have not. I've been looking at Tulsa King and I've been looking at Fubar with Arnold going.
Yeah.
It's like I want to watch it, but I always find something else.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I can tell you, Tulsa King is good. It's really good. It's entertaining, to me at least. I thought it was. They had very tight episodes.
Now, this is where he is a former crime guy and moves somewhere to start over, but can't kind of give up his old ways.
Well, yeah, sort of like he did time, went down for a crime he didn't commit, and didn't rat on anybody, and so he's in jail for all those years. I forget how many years, but finally gets out and is like, hey, I want to, it's time for me to start over. And they're like, yeah, no, we're shipping you off to the most bum location in the world. It's nice. It's nice. They kept telling him it's nice. So he finally gets out there, but then things just aren't going well. And he stayed he didn't revert to anything. He stayed in that mindset, and he's just like, all right, well, I'm going to go do this and do that. And he does. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it kind of, when I saw the trailer for it, the first thing I thought of was, it's kind of like Lilyhammer. Where the character, the mafia guy, and he moves to another country. And he's still in his old ways and trying to scam and do stuff. But, that's a good series.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely good. I enjoyed it, and I'm wanting to watch Fubar, but I haven't yet because we are also watching Justified.
Okay. I haven't started any new series. Yeah, I've just been on a movie kick lately.
Yeah, we watched like the Extraction or the.
Oh, Extraction 2?
Extraction? No, just the first one. We went and watched the first one.
I watched the second one just the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're probably going to watch that next one soon. But and I watched Avatar, The Way of Water, which I also enjoyed. I don't understand why people gave it hate. But
I don't know. I had so much. There was so much hype when the original Avatar was coming out, and then I watched it, and it was groundbreaking technology, and it was cool. A little long, I thought, but I didn't walk away going, oh man, I love that movie. To where
I did.
I'll probably end up watching the second one. Yeah, I know. Everybody I know that talks about Avatar loves it.
Yeah.
So it's like me with the Beatles. I hate the Beatles. Everyone thinks I'm weird. So I don't like Avatar either, but I don't have taste. So
yeah, well, that happens sometimes. But
I do, being ADHD theater, format kind of goes out the window. Something that just dawned on me, music. We talked about music, putting music segments into this podcast, but I haven't really found any good new releases lately until this past Friday. And it's totally accidental. There's a band that I've heard past couple of years, just couldn't get into them, called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
And the Lizard
When I saw the name, I'm like, when I saw King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh,
now, when I first saw the name, I'm like, I got to see what this band is. And I can tell you, it's the band that releases a lot of albums. But I just wasn't into it. It was, I don't know how to describe how I took it, but it was very, I don't even know, kind of psychedelic rock alternative. So, like I do every Friday, I go to Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, and I start looking through new releases, seeing what's new. I'm always trying to find something new to listen to, I have a lot of friends that still listen to the same stuff all the time, and I'm always trying to find something new. You know, what's coming down the line, and I see the artwork for the new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and it looks very metal.
Okay.
You know, it's a cartoon lizard, flames everywhere, and I'm like, I wonder what this is. I wonder what these guys are doing. And this freaking album, I have not stopped listening to it. I don't know if they just woke up one day and said, hey, let's make a metal album, because it completely caught me by surprise. And if you're checking anything out as far as music goes and you like hard music, it's a little old school stuff, but I've had it in my ear while working the past couple of days in the background, and it's just nonstop, just kicks your ass. So I recommend highly, go to the new release section of whatever streaming service you use, look up King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and just it's only 7 songs, and just let them roll and see if you like it.
All right.
I really like I said, I'm always looking for something new, and this one caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting. You don't see many bands that, you know, usually a band changes and people flip out, and it's usually a little change. This is a total different direction from what they've done before, and that's kind of cool, because it makes me want to go back now and maybe listen to some of their old stuff, because it's like, if these guys can bounce around,
right,
they might have a few gems here and there on an album that I didn't really dig.
Right.
You know, so yeah, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And on the opposite side, the new Avenged Sevenfold album is absolutely horrible. If you're an Avenged Sevenfold fan and you were hoping their comeback after many years gone, and the death of a band member was going to be a return to their big, huge, you know, Backcountry and all that stuff that came out, it's not. It's bad. It's garbage. Take my word for it. Don't even listen to it. So that's where I am with music this week.
Yeah. I listened to a couple new things, but yeah, I can't say that I have any attachment to anything. I don't know. I was listening to the same thing for a long time, but I've recently branched out and started listening to different things. But it's the same thing, but it's just slightly different, just not by the same people. You know, because I listen to Reliant K all the time. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I know that. Yep.
So I still do that, but you know.
Oh yeah, I'll listen to Van Halen to the day I die.
Yeah.
You know.
But I found this one song and I heard it and I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds pretty good. And it was just some stupid thing on like Instagram or something that I saw, and so that made me like Google it. It's called it's called No Resolve and Hinder. So I'm not sure if that's like a combination of two bands and they just put it together.
I actually saw that and listened to a couple, because you'll see that a lot in the stoner rock, desert rock, doom genre, where you'll see like two bands together, and it might be 2 songs by this band, 2 songs by that band, or sometimes the bands actually write songs together, and those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because might go back and listen. You might go and listen to the 2 bands separately and not like them, but together, they, you know,
together they mesh somehow. But yes, this was Unstoppable. It was a single they just put out, and by No Resolve and Hinder, and I thought that was actually really, really good. I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I don't even remember who actually sings it. I don't know. I forget. But also, Wicked Game. Tenacious D did a cover of Wicked Game.
Yes.
And it's like,
it's so good.
I want that song. They announced that they released it, but it's it's just the same thing that they already had out that you could listen to. So it's like they didn't sing the whole song, and I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. But I still love it.
Some people, it's like you either love Jack Black or you hate Jack Black.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that man does, the more I'm convinced, man, that he at one point walked down the crossroads, ran into the devil, and said, "I'll sell my soul to be famous." Because what can't he do?
I know.
I mean, he's always Jack Black. No matter what role you put him in, he's himself. But
Yeah.
it fits. Everything he's in, it fits.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the one. I saw someone else say this as well, because he popped up in Star Wars, and it's like the person said, person commented, he said, Jack Black is the one thing you do not need to give me any backstory on, because I understand as soon as he shows up on the screen, I just get it. I get what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, yeah, okay, I get this. He probably just found his way to this dude and swooned to that girl and called it a day, you know? It's just, he just fits in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about Disney controlling Star Wars now, is that you have opportunities like this now for different stars to suddenly be in something Star Wars. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to be in something Star Wars?
Yeah.
You know, even a quick little 2-second cameo, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a bad thing, but with the series that they're doing, I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think you probably differ, you know.
Ed Sheeran was in Game of Thrones.
That was weird.
Yeah, and that was just so weird to me. Like,
It didn't fit.
Yeah, but Jack Black fits perfectly in Star Wars. It's
Yes,
just like,
he does. He
it's
really
like, yeah,
does.
I mean, crazy beard and everything. It's just like, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. You can just keep telling the story, and I'll continue watching because I get this. But yeah, I don't know. He's amazing, and yeah, he's a surprisingly good actor. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've never not enjoyed him in the roles he's in. Ever.
Right.
I think.
Right.
I've actually gone back and like watched everything. Like my buddy Aaron and I, we were on a big Jack Black kick, so we watched them all. We were like Envy, Orange County, you know, all that stuff. You know, yeah, I don't know. It's like he makes sense.
Did you ever? The first time I ever saw Jack Black was in Bruce Willis movie, The Jackal.
Okay.
Did you ever see that movie?
I think so, but it's been a while.
Yeah, it's a scene where he's kind of like he's a tech dude. He's assistant, Bruce Willis's assistant. And he's testing out this massive, intense rotary gun. He has a minivan. He's going to pull up to an event, open the crack in his window of this minigun. He's going to assassinate someone. So him and Jack Black are out there, and they're shooting at this car, blowing up all this stuff. And he's like, you know, let's see what this thing can really do. And he tells Jack Black, he's like, do me a favor, go over there. And he's walking out where he was just shooting. He's like, over here. He's like, no, go over there. Go by the car. Stand by the car. So Jack Black's like, all right. And he goes and he stands by the car. And as soon as he stands there, Bruce Willis just opens up on him and just obliterates him with this rail gun. And that's the last you see of Jack Black. But it was like, where did that come from? But yeah, it's a good movie. But it was Bruce Willis, you know. So it was a good movie. But yeah, poor Jack Black.
Yeah,
just
right.
a side character that gets blown away. But
yeah.
But
I mean,
Envy,
sort of,
Envy was fantastic. I loved Envy.
Yeah, Envy was really good. I mean, Shallow Hal, love that movie. I mean, it's just everything he's in. He's so good. But
I'll never forget when she throws her underwear at him.
and he's just like,
covers him.
get over here,
What
Houdini.
is this?
It's just
Oh,
like-
yeah. Speaking of comedians, I just saw, for those of you that are in the Northern Ohio area, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are coming to Cleveland for
Oh,
a
yeah.
show at Playhouse Square. Cheapest seats are $80.
Oh, geez,
But
yeah.
yeah, my daughter has gone to see David Spade, Rob Schneider. She's on like a Saturday Night Live comic kick, so she's trying to convince me to go to this with her. I may end up going, but those two are so funny together.
Yeah, they are. I don't know.
And boy, for a segment name, that sure fits, because I just realized, man, am all over the place today.
Yeah.
So
we've talked about movies, music, and
ADHD
comics. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. And I mean,
I had someone come up to me today, a friend of mine come up to me today, and we were talking about something, and I expressed that I didn't think I was qualified for what we were talking about. And he says, look, man, I know what it's like to be you. I've been on Adderall my whole life. I'm like, all right, I got it. You're right. Thank you. So, yeah. I was like, yeah, I guess you do.
Funny.
But
yeah, good times.
So no Bo today, huh? Bo was going to jump in, but he's stuck somewhere, right?
Yeah, no, he didn't ever get to finish watching the movie, and he's behind on stuff he has to do and has going on.
He's a busy man. He seems like a very, very busy man.
Yeah,
a man of many talents.
Yep, for sure.
And I'll tell you what, I think he can make money as a voice actor. I mean, look back at that commercial he did for the podcast. I mean,
yeah,
you can listen. He's got a voice you can listen to. Relax. Yeah. Not like us.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Yep. Very. I hate the sound of my voice. It's like...
when I went, newsflash, in one of my many attempts at a career, I went to broadcasting school in the 90s. And I did graduate. And I actually did work in the field as a gopher, which is pretty much you go for this, you go for that, wash this car, go get coffee. But, yeah. So, having ADHD, I completely forgot where I was going with that story. So, we can just move on.
Okay. Yeah, no, I did. In high school, I was in a video journalism class. So, I got to video things, and it was a good time. But, yeah, it was very much go here and go do that. But it's, very much felt like TV industry type thing. But
right. Yeah, we had my high school, I took vocational path in 11th grade, and it was radio, TV, broadcasting. Because our local cable company they actually built a full production studio in our high school. And it was like a joint venture. The cable company used it for all the local access stuff. And then during the day, they taught students how to do radio and television. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Of course, as soon as I got out of school, all the technology we learned on was now obsolete. It's like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were running stuff on Casablancas, and it's just like, it's this old system. It's just like, oh, this is like a Casablanca, and you just have this mouse, and you do all that stuff and edit stuff like zippity zip, and then you get out, and it's like, what? You want to do a what? Like what?
No,
oh man,
we were
a computer for that.
Yeah, I remember sitting there putting together, one of the last things you had to do in broadcasting school was put together your demo tape so that you can go get a job. You had 3 minutes of you introing a song, coming out of a song, doing a news intro, coming out of a news, just all this ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
And, it was, you record all your stuff and then pull out the white pencil and start marking your tape to manually cut and splice your edits. And before the whole point and click. And that, I'll tell you, that was actually, it wasn't as tedious as it sounds, because you went by, it wasn't, now you're editing, you're watching the waveform and you're able to cut it at this spot, make it wider, see where they meet. Where with then, you just went by what you heard. You know, you're moving the tape and you hear something, so you go back a bit, forward a bit. Oh, I'll cut it right there. Take out your razor blade and cut it.
Yeah.
And put a little tape on it, and your whole show is a taped together. If you think about it, it's kind of scary. I mean, you have a 5-minute tape, and it's literally 30 taped together segments with literal tape. You know, and that's how the industry was for a long time. I sound like I'm 100 years old.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Back in my day, you had to get up and put the VCR in the rewinder. There's an industry that we need to have a moment of silence for, the rewinding industry. How many people made video? Did you have a videotape rewinder back in the day?
I did not.
Dude,
no,
that was the Christmas gift of all. It was literally all it did. You put your tape in it, you pushed it down, and it rewound the tape for you, so you could take it back to the video store and not get charged for having to rewind the tape.
Nope. By the time I was watching VHS and stuff, when it got to the end, it cut off and then automatically rewound. That was what my VCR did.
That's amazing.
Stop, rewound, and it's just like, oh, that's cool.
Wow.
You just pop it out and put it back in the box.
You were like highfalutin high tech back in the day. You had auto rewind. Your kids must have thought you were living high on the hog.
Yeah, I didn't understand how difficult it was. Like, I mean, the first time I saw a video rewinder, I was just like, what's this? What's this for? What is this for?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, granted,
so it does the thing that your VCR can actually already do, and you just put it in and it rewinds it? What?
Super fast, though. Super fast. But, you know, hey, I've been on the other end of someone being rewind. And what a horrible night. I mean, talk about terrible. You come home, think about it. To watch a movie, you had to go to the store. Look at them on the wall. Pick the one out you wanted. Hope behind it there was a case, meaning it was in stock. Then take it home, and you put it in. Aw, I got to rewind this? Screw this. Night's ruined. I'm out of here. That was a sign of the future. When you didn't have time to rewind something, and it was too much of a hassle, and you didn't watch the movie because you had to rewind it, that's why we are the way we are in society today. I blame it all on video rewinding.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I've never had that happen, so it was always rewound. So, but you know, thanks. I guess.
Well, imagine the poor guy. Imagine the poor guy at the video store that's having to rewind tapes all night long. Damn, right. I could be fast forwarding, but no, I got to rewind these tapes. You know. There is one Blockbuster, I guess, that's still in existence.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere.
Yeah. I forget. I don't think it's anywhere around here. I think it's in the middle of nowhere.
No. Yeah. So I still get surprised when I see people standing in front of a red box. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Of course.
They have a red box app.
I have a coworker who who still gets Netflix DVDs in the mail.
Oh my gosh.
They said they still have about, a million or so people that get DVDs still.
Yeah, but apparently they are doing away with it.
Like, I tell you what, they got me on the password sharing. I went to watch something the other day, and the minute I turned on Netflix, I had this thing on the screen. You need to verify your network. So I'm like, this is interesting. Have you seen that? Has it happened to you yet? Mm-hmm. It had me log in, and then it did a quick test on my network, and then identified my network, identified my profile, and then probably 2 hours later, my daughter called. Dad, what's up with the Netflix? I'm like, you got to have your own account now. And of course, my girls walk all over me. I let them. So I looked into it and I went to my account and I'm like, you can add 2 people in different households for $7 a month. You have to sign them up and then you send it to them. And then she put the info in and it did merge her profile. So, but only 2 people. So they really have made it so it's harder. But then again, you can still log in a million times on a million different devices. So I'll give you my Netflix account, log in on your phone, and just cast it to your TV. So unless they can stop that.
Yeah, I think they do.
Well, I have had that with I remember who else it was. There was another service I was watching, and I went to stream it to my TV, and it would not do it. And it put right on the screen that I did not have rights to stream the content. So, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think HBO does that.
Do they?
Yeah, I know for a fact that they don't let you screenshot anything. And it's just like, I don't understand. How do people report on this content? Like, how do people report on their content? It's just like, take a screenshot and then it's all right. Well, whatever.
Yeah. Strange. But then again, I mean, you're not talking about the brightest people in the industry. I mean, HBO, that was one of the most known names and symbols. If you saw it, you knew exactly what it was. It was the cornerstone of in-home entertainment movies. And they go and change their name to a channel that was always known for having crap. Let's call ourselves Max now instead of HBO Max. When I first saw it, I thought, why am I seeing all this Cinemax stuff? I went to Amazon Prime and there's all these Cinemax Max things. I'm like, Max? I don't want Cinemax. What's this? No, it's HBO. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, not the brightest choice.
Not at all.
I mean, I still have it, but yeah, I don't get the point of the Max thing, but I get the idea like, oh, but you can watch everything to the max. It's just like, yeah, that's so like 90s. It's a 90s saying right now. But I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah. So I saw something interesting on the Thunder Nerds page. You have something going on tomorrow or Saturday?
Yeah.
A decent interview, looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be interviewing Guillermo Olivo. And I'm not rolling my R's properly like is expected, but I'm just a dumb hillbilly and I can't roll my R's.
I can't do that either.
would. And I promise I know how to pronounce your name.
For someone like me who isn't familiar, I know that the rest of the Geek-Men, I don't know if all of them are, but it seems to me that most of you guys are into painting, creating action figures or accessories for action figures. Is that accurate?
Yep. I mean, I got stuff on my desk right now that I'm working on.
So the gentleman that you're interviewing, what is his story?
So he did a thing called he has this whole sort of like conglomerate type thing. I'm not really sure how it all works and connects, but he did first thing. He's I can't think of the word, and I know you can't help me. He does behind the scenes documentary type there it is, documentaries. That's the word I couldn't think of. He does documentary stuff. So he has a few things out there like in Miami and stuff like that, but he also did one on toys, plastic chats, or not. He did plastic chats, but he also did plastic crack, and that was on that can be found on Instagram or not Instagram, but Amazon. That's the thing I'm trying to think of. But yes.
Plastic crack. What is plastic crack?
Toys. That's what.
Just any. Oh, I got you. The addiction to. I gotcha. Yes. Gotcha.
Yeah. So he did a sort of a behind the scenes documentary about plastic crack and stuff like that, which then spun off into plastic chats that he did, where he's talked with tons of top tier professional like collectors and stuff all around the world, and so he's got to chat with a bunch of those folks, and then he's gonna make time for us.
Nice.
So,
nice. Yeah, I'm trying to learn a little bit more about everything that everyone in the group is into. I kind of watch the group chats and don't participate much because I don't know much about what you're talking about. But I tell you what, man, I'm blown away by the artistry, the stuff that a lot of you, especially Zombie. I mean, some of the stuff that I see him post is just like, man,
yeah,
that's incredible.
He does incredible work.
Yeah.
But
see if you can make me an action figure of me. How hard would that be? Just get a dumb bald guy and put a beard on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But, it took us a long time to get this episode out, and it's all on me. We were actually ready to go last week, and I was just about to log in, and then I started having internet troubles, and then I said, all right, well, I can reset my router or whatever, and then the power goes out.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we're all kill,
Yeah.
And before that, I was dealing with, just my dad and stuff like that. So it was nice to get back.
It's a few weeks coming, but I was like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
We can always fall back tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's why the name ADHD Theater is perfect.
Yeah. It was a good segment.
Yes, for anybody who was just dying to review Devil's Angels, I'm sure there were so many of you. We appreciate you being patient with us.
Right.
But I'll tell you, Beastmaster, I have a feeling that Dustin, you're gonna say, why did I not watch this sooner?
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things that I've seen it on Amazon, and it's just like, oh yeah, I want to watch that. So I put it in my list to watch, but then I never go back to it, and I never get around to it. It's just, I don't know. It's like, man, I should have seen this sooner.
There were a few other versions that were made, but none of. I mean, they tried to kind of go off in a different direction and a different actor, and they tried to do like a couple other Beastmaster things, and they just never caught on. There is a Beastmaster 2. I don't know if I ever saw it, but
didn't they do a Beastmaster TV show?
They did, and I wasn't a fan of that. But
yeah, I thought it was like during the time of the whole Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules type thing. It just sort of blended in with all that other stuff. So it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. It's another Xena show.
Right.
But
I'm definitely, I'm going to rewatch it again because I used to watch it constantly as a kid. I loved it. And, he has 2 ferrets. They're his sidekicks, and he carries them in a little side bag. And when he needs to do something cool, like break out of a prison cell in a cave, they'll run and get the keys or, whatever. So, and I have friends that have ferrets, so I call BS on all that because I've never seen a smart ferret. So,
yeah, I know Zombie has a couple ferrets.
Does he?
Yeah.
Then he can educate me.
He has a menagerie in his house. I don't know how he does it. He's got chickens. He's got hamsters. He's got all kinds of weird things.
I'm finding more and more people I know that have stuff like that. My one coworker, Chris, he's got chickens. My other coworker, Jason, has goats and, stuff. And then, our boss at work, I found out today, has chickens. And it's like, maybe I need to get some chickens. I wouldn't have a coop, though. I would just let them free roam. Hey, there's a chicken in the kitchen. Yeah. There's one in the living room. Why not? Put little diapers on them. They're good to go. They wear they don't wear underwear because they're peckers on their face. So. Right.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I get it.
But I do appreciate everyone being patient with us as we get this segment rolling.
Yeah.
Sometimes we ramble for hours. This week I'm kind of limited on time, so
Yeah.
I don't have much more today.
Yeah. So we'll have to let you go here, and I will play us out. Possibly.
So check out Beastmaster.
Yes.
We'll be back next week. I'm actually
Yep.
on vacation starting Thursday, so I have from Thursday the 28th all the way through the 10th. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'll be
right.
doing absolutely nothing but watching
go.
movies and attempting to do yard work and not get lazy. So,
Right.
but thank you again, Dustin, and everybody listening, watching.
No matter when you see it, if you watch the replay, whenever. But yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that's been it for this week's episode. And again, we'll see you Saturday. If you tune in, we'll be interviewing Guillermo Olivo, and very excited about that. And yeah. So until then.